Welcome to Reflections, the podcast that biblically encourages, equips, and empowers women for apostolic life and service. Here's your host, Dr. Cindy Miller.
All right, the Bible has several verses that speak to the importance and value of having friends. Friends for times of pain and struggle, friends to laugh with, grow with, friends who speak truth to us and encourage us to be better versions of ourselves. So we are wanting to welcome you to Let's Talk. We are at General Conference, so you will hear people talking, you will hear people laughing, and somebody may even walk up and hug us right in the middle of this. But we're okay with it.
We're totally
At
okay.
the 79th General Conference in Long Beach, California. And with me is my friend and co-host, Jenny Russell. My name is Cindy Miller. I'm your host. And with us today is the one and only Maya Hunley.
Yes. Thank God there's only one.
She's an amazing one. And so, excuse me, because I always have to cough through all of mine. One of the things that she wanted to share with today is a time of confession. She wanted to open with a confession. So go ahead, Maya, take it away.
Well, basically, yes. I am an example of how not to make friends, I feel. First of all, I always, whenever I get together with my friends, I have a microphone on my lap, a really big one.
Wow.
We do too.
I find the best way to talk to people.
Yes. I thought we were the only one. You're really
So
normalizing
awkward.
this for us.
I am. So the bigger the microphone, the better, right?
Especially when you're short.
And like we said, we
I
got
love
visitors
it.
popping
I
in.
love it. Okay, this is real life right here.
No.
I am only wearing my executive clothes because it's a general conference. I would much rather be in something more comfy, but here we are. How not to make friends. You know, the Bible talks about how we belong to one another and that we need each other, and I totally believe that. Like, we need each other and genuinely loving each other. All of that in Romans chapter 12, it really gives us a good overview of how we should one another, each other, and, you know, all those scriptures that we read about, pray for one another, confess your faults to one another, encourage one another, iron sharpens iron, all of that.
All the scripture you've been using.
We need it. Okay, I'm just telling you everything you already know, but you might not know how important it is not to make some big faux pas when you are meeting somebody new. So this week, this is just in the last 48 hours, I have made all these mistakes. I met a friend who I have had a texting friendship with.
Okay.
So you meet them in person at General Conference and you're so excited and there's this real connection and you're like, oh, this could really be a great friendship, right? Oh my word. So things are going great. We're taking selfies. All is well. Until I ask a question that no one should ever ask a woman.
Uh-oh.
Okay? And I remember I did this years ago and I told myself I'll never do it again.
Oh, I'm so
But
fascinated.
before I could, think through what I was saying, oh Lord, this is so embarrassing. I looked at her and I said, are you expecting?
Oh, no, you did not. You did
I-
not.
She wasn't.
Oh, you did not.
I wanted to die. I literally wished the world that the earth would just swallow me up right there. I felt so bad. I went back to my room and cried. It was really, I'm I've done it. And you can't undo that. You cannot undo that.
No, good friends. Good friends.
Yeah.
Us are okay with that.
And I think forgiveness is a huge part of friendship because you have to be forgiving. People are going to hurt you. That's what you're doing when you open yourself up to friendship. It's, opening yourself up to both hurt and healing because through friendship, you get both.
That's right.
You really do. And so this poor girl, she was so sweet and so kind. And I think we're still friends. Remains to be seen. But that's one way not to make a friend. Another way not to make a friend is
This
to
is so informative.
call them. Yes, I'm trying to help I'm trying to help my sisters out.
You should be writing it down.
Do not call them by a name that they do not go by anymore. Also happened this week. Oh, my word. And then I'll just give one more because God knows I've probably made way more faux pas than this in the last few days, but these are the ones I'm aware of.
But we're at General Conference.
Yeah, it's General Conference. It's like, this is like you're jumping into a pool of vulnerability. You know, you can make so many mistakes. And please forgive me, anyone who I've hurt unintentionally. But yesterday, a couple that are so dear to me, I love them so much, they walked up to me and said, "We have a gift for you." And I was like, "Oh, thank you so much." And so they hand me this gift, and I'm not going to say exactly what it was, but I have a problem. I am a perfectionist. And I opened this gift, and there was a spelling error.
Oh.
And I tried so hard, but not hard enough. I was like, "This is great. Thank you so much. Thank you so much." But just to let you know, that's not spelled correctly. I can't, you guys. No. Nobody should ever be friends with me. I just can't hold it in. Lord, help me. So anyway, please don't do that. But on the flip side of all of that, I have to say, I have been so encouraged and strengthened by my friends during this conference. I'm not sure that I've been that to others, but I know others have been to me. They've come to me, they've spoken words of encouragement, of healing, of strength into me. And so, yes, absolutely 100%. It is worth it to make yourself vulnerable and invest in friendships.
I love that. And you are a good friend, because I know there's like this huge age gap, and she's young enough to be my daughter. But I always feel loved and valued by Maya. Always, and I love having you in my life. You know, you're just so precious. So you make a good friend.
You're sweet.
And you tell great stories. So I mean, we're loving it, because we're thinking of all the things. When you were talking what not to do, the number one thing, I was like, she asked somebody how much they weighed? I mean,
Lord.
What?
No, worse.
But I think that might tip the scale on worse. Okay, all right, we're with you. But you know, we were talking earlier, and you brought up something about, like, we're talking right now about the sisterhood and how valuable having friends are in the body
within
of
the
Christ.
body, yeah.
But you made a point earlier. You were talking about the need for women to really go out and be friends with other women. Can you just talk about that for a little bit?
Yeah. So I have this love-hate relationship with the term friendship evangelism. Like, why can't it just be friendship? You know? To me, people can smell when you're coming to them and you're being loving and kind with an agenda.
Right.
Like, it's just, I know I can sense it. And I know that, you know, people in the world that you are trying to, you know, obviously we want them to come to the Lord. We desperately want people to know the love, joy, peace that we found in Jesus. But we cannot approach people with that, you know, vibe, to say it in the, you know, lingo of today. I am, the Lord's trying to teach me this. So I'm not like saying something that I've perfected and I know how to do very well, but I want to encourage women to please reach out. Start in your neighborhood. Find people that you connect with within your neighborhood. Surely there's somebody who lives near you, who works with you, who you interact with, that is perhaps not apostolic, but perhaps the way to view them is to look at them and say, this person is valuable. God put things in this person that I need. And perhaps I have stuff that they need also. And how can I steward this, that God's given me this opportunity to connect with this person made in God's image, how can I serve them? And I know that they have something that I can learn from as well. So I think having that mindset of like, I'm not in this just to shove my beliefs and my thoughts to this person. I'm here to also receive from them. It's a symbiotic relationship, you know? And I think a lot of times we miss that when we have this single-minded focus of, I must save them for Jesus, you know? And I have friends that I've been friends with a long time, and they're just my dearest friends. They haven't made a move towards Christ yet, but I love them like a sister. And that's, I think, maybe a key to it as well, is viewing them as a sister before they are a sister, you know? So I just, you know, that's my little 2 cents worth of friendship. Let's make sure that all of our friendships are not just within this apostolic realm. We should always be reaching out. We should always be loving others, even if they never come to Christ, even if they never make that move that we so desperately would love for them to make. They are a person made in God's image. Let's love them as they are.
I think what you said earlier in another podcast that we were doing, you were talking about this epidemic of loneliness. And I think when you're bringing to this session, I think the same thing about talking about connection.
Yeah.
And you had mentioned sometimes we're lonely because we're not connecting. So it doesn't matter if you're in the church or not in the church. You're just saying connection. And you brought that up in the last one. I thought was good.
People are really, really lonely. I hesitate to share this because I don't want to like make it sound like I'm somebody, but we travel a lot. So I have found it hard in this season of my life to connect with people in St. Louis, where we're living now, in our neighborhood. And about a month ago, we had the month leading up to General Conference in St. Louis. For preparation for General Conference, of course, we decided not to travel for that month. And I made up my mind, Lord, I'm going to reach out to my neighbors while I have this month where I do not leave my home. And so I was very intentional about reaching out to my neighbor across the street. She is the sweetest lady. She's probably the age of my mom, but I don't feel that with her.
Oh, she's a lovely lady.
Yeah, I don't feel that with you. And I just reached out to her and said, Denise, I would really love to just get together. Why don't we just have tea on my front porch on Thursday morning? I mean, like sometimes people feel overwhelmed when you have them, you know, in your home maybe, like that's, you know, maybe too much, you know, but my front porch, I have 2 rocking chairs and I'm like, I'm putting those to good use. And so every Thursday for 3 weeks in a row, she would just come and we would spend 2-3 hours on my front porch just talking. I let her talk about her life. She asked me about my life. We just are developing a friendship, and she's so hungry for it. People are so lonely and isolated. People in your neighborhood that you pass by, maybe walking every day, need that connection. So please make that effort. You have to make that effort, even in your busy schedule. And I know we all have busy schedules, but I just said, you know what? I'm going to be intentional. Let's do this. We have had amazing times of prayer together.
Wow.
She's open to that. And so we've been praying and just, I share a little bit of the word, but I don't push it. You know, I don't try to make that the main thing of everything that I talk about. Just love that person. Listen to people. That is the key thing about friendship, is listening and being a good listener. And I'm needing to learn that. I'm working on that. The Lord's helping me. Listening is so key to all of that. And thank you for allowing me to share my heart a little bit.
You are a good friend.
You're
And
sweet.
Here we are sitting with our enormous 20-pound microphones here. Thank you
My
for
microphone
being with
baby.
us for this quick chat. I'd
Thank
love
you.
to sit and have more time with you, but I loved it. I loved everything she had to say. Thank you for being part of Reflections podcast with us. And we hope that you are reading the magazine, subscribing, listening, going digital, sharing on your Apple or Spotify this podcast, and that you are working really hard on making good friends, whether it's on your front porch or coffee break at work. Just do it. God bless.